Well, we're really excited. We've had a great time here so far. Got here Christmas night and had a team meeting, and then we've worked out twice at the Georgia Dome, which is a fabulous facility. Our guys really enjoy being over there. We'll be at Georgia Tech at their new facility, their indoor facility, the next 2 days, and really pleased. And it's been different for me because when I talk about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't even know what day it is. Today is a Wednesday for us, practice-wise. So we're on a different schedule. Yesterday was a Tuesday practice. Was a really pleased in how our guys approached it with a full padded, really lengthy workout yesterday to get back. And today we're Wednesday, and we start to taper off until we get to game time. But I couldn't be happier with how we've been treated. Chick-fil-A Bowl and the people have done. Gary, it's been fabulous, from our hospitality to our events, everything that has gone on. Our hospital visit yesterday, I thought that was very enlightening for our players, and like I said, as we get closer to the game, more and more people start showing up. So we try to get as much work done as we can right now before family, friends, and everybody gets in here for the event on New Year's Eve.
All right, thanks for that, Coach. All right, for the players, Ben, we'll start with you. Talk about what has been your favorite bowl week event so far.
You know, I think yesterday with the milkshake challenge, along with the Madden competition, you know, it was the first time that, you know, us and Duke were actually, you know, in the same room. And while everything was, you know, really friendly with those competitions, you can tell that, you know, both teams were still competing. You know, and while it's all fun and games, by adding a competition element to it, you know, it kind of made it more fun. You know, and it was a really great experience. You know, especially, and we're happy that Cedric Boy, he actually came out with the win, because if he would have lost, it would have been a bad week for him.
Well, I'm waiting for somebody to break down that Madden game for me. Can you do that for us? I mean, that was all the way down to the wire.
It was a really good game. You know, long story short, last play of the game, said kick the field goal on third down, which was a really good call. You know, you might have mistaken him for an actual head coach calling a play like that, but nah. And the kid from Duke actually blocked it, but he was offsides. But you know, we kicked it on the field goal, so.
All right, yeah, that was the most exciting Madden finish we've had. It was the first one, but still the most exciting. All right, Tony, what about you? What's been your best event so far?
I feel like for sure last night actually getting to see those guys up close and personal, you know, and just competing. You know, all of us on our team are great competitors. Last night that was big for us. We want to win the competition this week, and we want to come away with the win in the game. And I feel like last night was a great experience to start off the competition.
Yeah, it's all about the belt. It's all about the belt. Yeah, this is actually the belt stand-in. The players actually retained the belt last night, so they've got it, and they're taking it around Atlanta or whatever they're doing. But anyway, all right, well, let's get to it, guys. We'll go ahead and open up to questions. Just raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Who wants to be first? All right, back here in the middle right here.
Kevin, handing the play calling duties over to Jake, what maybe do you expect to see in your offense that maybe you hadn't been seeing?
You know, I saw something yesterday that said that I vowed to do something. I didn't vow to do anything. I just, you have a feel as a head coach about the direction that you're headed, and a feel for your players, a feel for what direction you really want your program to go in. And so those types of decisions are always difficult. I think it's a little different for me because I've been a part of those types of decisions. So, the overall aspect of this program, where we're headed, not just for this game, but for the future, that's my responsibility. And as I said, those decisions are always tough, but I don't know how much things are going to really change. I think incorporating a lot of different players into our offense is important, and I think that's. I know that's the direction we're headed in.
All right, who's going to be next? Okay, up here.
Sorry, it wasn't that dramatic, Robert. So it's what it is.
A quick follow-up on that. When did you make that decision to replace McKinney with Coach Spavital?
Well, it's not a, it's something that I thought about, and the day it was released is the day that I actually talked about it. So I know we do a lot of things that you guys find out about later on, but there's never a good time. And I thought the way we do things in bowl preparation, we try to have a game week of preparation at home, and then we gave these guys a couple, 3 days off for Christmas. Then we do another complete game week when we're here. That's why I said today's Wednesday for us. So with those 2 game weeks, I just thought it was important that we had the opportunity to install the game plan with a lot less distractions at home, and to give Jake an opportunity to put his twist on it, and at home, and then think about it a little bit more, and then when we got here, kind of just polish it up and get ready to go.
And then I'm hoping I can catch you in somewhat of a reflective mood for once. But, looking at this season from the off-season stuff with Johnny to the investigation at the start of fall camp to some suspensions to some really big games to you getting a new contract and being here today, how has that tested you as a coach? How have you grown as a coach going through a season like this?
You never there's no manual for this job, and you're always challenged with a lot of different things. And this year, I've had. I was just talking on the way over here. There's some visiting coaches around that have come back that are here this week that really, they're not involved in bowl games, but I've talked to a lot of different people, and it seems like so long ago that we were sitting here talking about all those different things. And from the beginning, from August 4th, when all that news hit, to the game of the decade, there's been a lot of big moments this year, and that's a testament to the reason these 2 guys are up here, the seniors that have been through a lot. You got to remember, these guys came to Texas A&M, and when they got here in the Big 12, they had no idea that they'd be playing, have the opportunity to come to Atlanta and play in the Chick-fil-A because of when they got here. All the things that went through this year in Alabama, and the teams that we lost to are really, really fine football teams. I think everybody knows that. We had a chance to win really at the end of 3 of those 4 games, and so it's the ball bounces different ways, but I think we've grown as a coaching staff. I think these guys have learned a lot, and really, really appreciative of their experiences as I talk to them, being in the SEC, whether we're at home with the 12th man or going on the road to a lot of different places. And so it's all still very new to us. But, I think 2 years into this situation, for me, you're still learning. And we're a part of the best league in the country, and probably the best division in the best league in this country. And for us to be where we want to be, we're going to have to continue to grow as a program. Fortunately, we have the administration, the facilities, the backing that's putting us in that position to compete and win in this league. And I told these guys are going to move on, and they have an opportunity to do something that no one's ever done at Texas A&M, and that is to win 3 consecutive bowl games in 3 consecutive years. And you think about how long we've played football and how many great players have been here, how many great teams have been here, for them to have that as a goal to walk away. Like our senior group last year was one of 4 teams to ever win 11 games. These guys got an opportunity to set another bar. And regardless of what happened this year, I think that's important to them because that's something that no one can ever take away from.
All right, Dan?
Yeah, Kevin, how much healthier is Johnny now compared to the end of the regular season? And how would you just characterize his play in the last couple games when it looked like he might have been a little bit banged up?
Well, it's kind of interesting. We ran him a lot more the year before, and he wasn't beat up. We didn't run him as much this year, and we didn't really talk about it too much. But hitting a helmet is something that it's hard on your throwing hand, and he battled through it, and obviously the time off that we haven't played in a month, and giving him a chance to heal up. I think he feels really, really good right now, and I like practice yesterday. I think he's approaching this game. He's feeling better. He's got a little bit more bounce, and I think the time off for this team, because it's a pretty good year. I mean, for these guys that are playing, this league is rough, and but we gave them more time off this year. We didn't practice for a couple weeks after that last game, and kind of turned it up a notch when we got back to practice instead of just keeping it going. And because I think our team needed some rest, not only physically but mentally, with what was going on. And I like our energy level right now. And as you said, I think just watching practice yesterday and being around our guys, they're anxious to play again.
All right behind in the back row.
Ben, it's just you guys' second year in the SEC, but do you still feel that sense of responsibility to represent the league in the bowl game and come away with that win for the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, not only for the SEC, but for Texas A&M. We understand the prestigious league that we represent. You certainly don't want to, get into the loss column, especially in the bowl game. Just like what Coach Sumlin said, for this senior class and for this whole team has an opportunity to do something that, in this rich history that Texas A&M has that no other group of players have accomplished. So to answer your question, we do want to represent the SEC well, but I think it's more for Texas A&M than, the conference.
Yeah, it was interesting that the stat is, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, because the ACC is 111 of these, and the SEC is 110.
That's right.
So we have an opportunity to try to tie this thing up, and that'll be good for us.
All right, where are we going to go? All right, we'll go right here.
Yes, Coach. This is your first trip to one of the SEC's traditional bowl games. Can you talk about how this bowl experience compares to others you've had, and what it means to try and establish your brand in this game, knowing Chick-fil-A Bowl is going to be join the playoffs next year?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate in my career to be in, a coach in all 4 BCS games. The hospitality here has been outstanding, and you can see why this bowl game, this venue, this event will be part of the 6 championship sites for the college playoffs, and we're very, very fortunate to be a part of that. I told the seniors have, as Ben just talked about, their goals, our goals as a team, but for our younger players, this is a great experience because, looking down the road as a coach, you're always thinking about what's next, and for us to be here in Atlanta, which it's twofold. We've got this experience that we're drawing off of and practicing. Hopefully, for our younger players, we can get back here and be a part of the SEC championship game. And then the bigger goal is, this is going to be where the playoff situation is going to be handled. So for us, this is a great experience for our seniors who are leaving, as Ben just talked about, what our goals are presently. But down the road, we hope to get back here, and we like Atlanta, and we'd love to be back here a bunch if we can be here.
All right, where are we going next, guys? Anything in the back? All right, all the way in the back.
Tony, can you talk a little bit about, I know that Darian's not going to be playing, and I know that Duke has also got a player that's been suspended, but can you talk about the Aggies' approach to this ball game, knowing that Darian's not going to be back there on your defensive unit?
For us on defense, it's just the next man up. All year long, we've been having some injuries and, different things that have taken our defense, and we have younger guys that are ready to step up. I'm sure our younger linebacker, Mastro, will be ready to play. Donnie Baggs also will be ready to play. We have a bunch of young guys that are ready to, make a name for themselves, and they've been working hard this year, to make plays for us. But our defensive coordinator, Coach Snyder, he'll definitely have our linebackers, ready for this game.
Coach, you've talked about the opportunity for this group to win 3 straight bowl games and how important that is. But how important is it to just win the bowl game, and how much can it be as a springboard into spring ball and into next year?
Well, it's we treat bowl games probably a little bit differently than most people. It's we have 3 phases, really a couple phases that we go through in preparation. It gives us an opportunity to work our younger players early, the guys who are redshirted and not real starters, that are special teams guys, get a look at them, and then develop our game plan to win. And I think from our standpoint, from my standpoint, it's been obvious that in bowl games we like to not just enjoy the atmosphere, but we like to win those games, and I think it does. It does carry over in the next year. We talked as a team yesterday just about our performance level and where we want to be and how we're going to approach this game. And I think based on practice yesterday, I couldn't be happier with our preparation up to this point, how these guys are handling it. And I think we're going to be ready to go New Year's Eve.
All right, up here in the front. Coming on the other side.
Coach Cutcliffe earlier was talking about he picked you up in Knoxville, Tennessee in a pickup truck.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
Could you just, we were wondering when that was in your career and what job that was for.
It's kind of interesting. I was I'd been a graduate assistant for 2 years, and Joe Tiller moved to Wyoming, and I was there for 2 years as the wide receiver coach. My first year at Minnesota, so I'd been a full-time coach for 3 years, and he called me and asked me about coming to interview for the wide receiver job at Tennessee. And I was young. I didn't know a bunch of anything at that point, but I knew that as a kid growing up, I wanted to go to school there, but I wasn't good enough. So they had the World's Fair there in Knoxville, and I was down there as a kid. That's a long time ago, but they didn't recruit me. They didn't think I was good enough, and they were right. But I had a chance to go there and interview, and he picked me up in his pickup truck, and we talked a little football that day with Coach Fulmer, and rode around, looked at houses, and I was single at the time. Driving around a pickup truck, and I've always had a lot of respect for David and how he's done things, and I think he's had a lot of different experiences, with both the Mannings, whether he was at Tennessee, whether he was at Ole Miss, and just how he's run his program with class, with character. And somebody asked me, I said, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all if they won 10 games. because of how he does things. And he's a guy that has worked at this profession for a long time, pays attention to detail, has a great situation at Duke, and you know, he's a guy that you know, we were sitting next to each other yesterday at the FCA breakfast, just talking about how things have changed in our lives, and you know, in this profession, you know, you cross a lot of different paths, and you never know. And by the way, they didn't hire me, so they hired somebody else. So I wasn't good enough at that point. I couldn't play there and I couldn't coach there, but everything's worked out. Hopefully, I'm a little bit better now than I was in my third year as a full-time assistant.
He said he had trouble getting you to help him clean out that pickup.
Yeah,
Do you think that might have had something to do with it?
Well, you know, that's how it was. You know, he's riding around. We're just talking a little. Part of the interview process was just riding in the truck with him and getting to know him. And, you know, it was a great experience for me. And like I said, I've always had a lot of respect for how he's done things and class act. And that says a lot about him. You know, as obscure, you know, you get a phone call in the middle of the day from the coordinator at Tennessee, and you're like, really? Come on. You know, I want to bring you down here. We'll talk a little football and see if you'd be interested in this job. So I think that says a little bit about him as a person, always looking outside, paying attention to what's going on. And that was a real honor for me. Even though, like I said, I didn't get the job, I know who got the job. So he's a friend of mine too. But, you know, it's an experience that obviously I didn't forget, and I wasn't impressive enough at that point to do anything, but everything works out.
All right, let's go back here and all the way to the back.
Ben, can you talk about what you've seen from Coach Spavital taking the reins and kind of leading, and kind of talk about the pace that you guys expect, having the calls right there on the field, and you know, getting back on the ball and moving up and down?
Yeah, I think that's going to help a lot, actually. You know, him calling the plays, but him actually being on the sideline and being able to communicate faster, that'll help our tempo out a lot. But you know, he just brings the energy to this offense. You know, the first day, you know, everybody found out that, you know, that he got the job. You know, it wasn't the transition period wasn't hard at all. You know, he's a very easy guy to respond to. You know, but when you thinking about the offensive schemes and stuff like that, you know, it's going to be on full display New Year's Eve. So, you know, you guys don't have anything to worry about.
All right, where we go next? All right, Charles Smith, right here.
For players as seniors, have you seen any indication that Johnny's kind of taking a senior approach into this game? Have you seen any indication that he's kind of looking at this as maybe his farewell as well?
Nah, I mean, you know, especially with me, you know, being on the offensive side of the ball, being around him all the time. I mean, he's the same Johnny Manziel as 2 years ago, competing for the starting quarterback job. You know, he's a he's a workhorse. He approaches every day like he wants to get better, and I haven't seen anything different from him, you know, approaching this ball game.
Okay, right here in the front.
Kevin, wondering about the status of Malcolm Kennedy, maybe a little bit overlooked that he wasn't involved in the last 2 games.
Yeah, you know, Malcolm's had he was beat up a little bit too through the year, you know, and so you know, he's been nursing some things. Like I said, this team was at the end of the year had been through a lot, and just looking at practice the last couple of days, I think the rest that these guys had and how we've approached this part of the year has really helped us physically and mentally, and you know, every now and then, you know, as a coach, you can do too much, and you always worry about, you know, what your process is going to be, and different teams are different. You know, we played a lot of guys that were younger guys and put a lot on these guys, the old guys, to play a lot of snaps this year. And, I think just taking a couple weeks of not practicing and then jumping back on it has really helped, us mentally and physically. And I think Malcolm's part of that. I think there's a lot of running. There's a lot of hits he's taken. There's a lot of different things that have happened. But, just looking at him right now, I think just like these guys were talking about, I think that they're anxious. And being in a new environment has really kind of helped us, I think, practicing over it. You walk into that building, and like I told these guys, there's a lot of really, really great players who played in this building, and the energy level just kind of rose. So, our guys have done a really good job, I think, over the course of the last couple years of accepting the challenge in bigger venues, bigger games, and I don't look for that to change this week.
Okay, here in the back.
Toney, what are your thoughts on Duke's wide receiver Jamison Crowder, and what are ways to deal with him?
From our point of view, we feel like they have pretty solid receivers. They have a good tight end as well. Their offensive scheme is, high power. They can put up points, and in the fourth quarter, that's where they play the best. So we know we have to play 60 minutes of solid football on defense, and to contain the receivers. I'm pretty sure we'll be a man-to-man. We'll throw some zone in there, but for the most part, our defensive staff will have us prepared.
Coach, I've got one for you guys. We talked with the folks from Duke. This bowl game has been ranked the 6th best bowl game of the season this year. Coach, talk about what you think makes this, comparing offense to offense, defense to defense. What are some of the things that you think makes this game exciting on that level of caliber with some of the BCS games?
No, you're playing a very potent Duke team, a team that's won double-digit games, beat Miami, Virginia Tech, Carolina, North Carolina State, represented their division in the ACC. So, they're a very, very well-coached football team. They're disciplined, and they're good. And, I talk to these guys all the time. When you get around New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, there's not a bunch of bad teams playing. And you've earned the right to play around that time. And, for us, I think just from a national standpoint, kind of like last year, but this year too, we're in a time slot where I probably shouldn't tell this story, what I told everybody yesterday, but we're in a time slot that's unopposed. And everybody in the world will be watching this game because there's nothing else on. And whether you're at home or you're at a local establishment, that game's going to be on television. And so from our viewpoint, from a branding standpoint, it's important how we play. It's a great opportunity for us to put on display who we are as not only as a football program, but as a university. And I think, our guys see that as an opportunity to show who we are. And for these guys who are seniors for their last football game in college, that's a big deal. Just to know that you're playing on New Year's Eve and there's nobody else on, and kind of like the NFL guys talk about Monday Night Football. We're on New Year's Eve and there's nobody else watching. Everybody, the world's going to be watching, and that's a great opportunity for these guys and for our university to display who we are.
Yep. Ben and Toney, what stands out about this matchup to you guys?
Well, for me, just like Coach Sumlin said, me personally, I'm pretty sure Toney can add to it too. This is our last college football game ever. Actually being on the field and strapping his helmet up for Texas A&M. With everything that we've been through. Starting our freshman year, now changing. Fortunate enough to get great head coach in Kevin Sumlin to make us even better, and to but most importantly, finish out our collegiate career with in the win column. And it's like Coach Sumlin said, playing in a slot where no one else is playing. All eyes are going to be on us and on this university, and we're just looking forward to representing this university well.
For me, I feel like defensively, this is a great challenge for us. We've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of injuries, a lot of things we've overcome, this season. But we want to start this, this game is a start of next year for our team. And we want to start, for next year on defense, we want to start well. I know Coach Snyder, he's been through a lot this season, with our fair share of, ups and downs. But with our younger guys, we want to show that they've matured, they've overcome the odds, and they're prepared to, play well. And for our defense, this is a great opportunity for us. They have a great offensive scheme, great offensive coordinator. And, like I said earlier, they play well in the fourth quarter. So we know we got to come ready to play. And, I'm just ready to, get back on the field and have some fun.
All right, time for just a couple more. We'll go right here in the back.
Coach, I know that in a profession that is based on outcome and performance, how difficult is it to do the right thing if a player steps across the line and say, hey, you're not going to play in this big game?
Well, that's all part of it. We're in the business of, a lot of people see Saturday, but we're in the business of growing young men. And one of the reasons one of the crazy reasons probably I like college football is because of that. When you have 17, 18-year-olds, it's kind of like clay, and we try to mold those guys and take their experiences, because we've got guys from different backgrounds, different home lives, two-parent, one-parent, no parent, and try to get them at the end of 3, 4, 5 years to be successful. And football ends for everybody at a certain time. Some guys sooner than later. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is raise and progress people to be good husbands, people that are going to contribute to society in a positive way. And learning those lessons can be difficult sometimes. And how you handle that is part of your job in college football. When you have 85 scholarship guys and 40 walk-on guys, everybody's got different issues. And how you approach that as a team, how you approach that personally, I think is important. And, to get guys to learn lessons, sometimes they learn the hard way. But I think that's part of our job. And it's a huge part of our job, not just on Saturday, but every day, and trying to get guys to do what's right. And, have we been perfect at it? Probably not. But I think our guys can tell you that we have a standard. We have some things that we believe in, and basically, what's right and what's wrong, and there are consequences to everybody's actions, good and bad. And those decisions are made, and they're difficult. They're difficult for our football team, but they're difficult for those individuals and those families. And we communicate that, and that's part of life. And sometimes I've seen it all kinds of different ways in 26 years of coaching, that guys grow out of bad situations and become real contributors to society later on in life. And my biggest deal is not, Saturday's a big deal, wins and losses, obviously, because if you don't win, you don't have a job in this business. But when I see guys come back, the Bethel Johnsons of the world, and guys that come from tough backgrounds, that come out to practice with their wife and little boys and their husbands and fathers and knowing where they came from and having the opportunity to go to Texas A&M or go to different schools, get a degree, and be productive from a background that maybe that wasn't possible. And we've got a lot of first generation college graduates, and we have an opportunity in this profession to really change families' lives. And to your point, to me, that's the bigger picture.
All right, did we have one up right here?
Yes, Coach. Now you played in this game in '78, right?
No, 78, man. I'm not that old. Come on.
84.
84. That's 6 years a big deal now. I'm getting up there, but I'm not 78. Come on. I was 14 then. Actually, I was like 3. I'm going to say that. No, 84.
Cool. Can you talk about that experience as a player versus the experience coming back as a coach?
Yeah, we played the Virginia Cavaliers. Coach George Welsh was the coach, and we didn't know much. I didn't know much about it at Purdue, and we started watching tape. I was like, man, this quarterback's pretty good. Who is that guy? And it was a guy named Don Mikowski, the Magic Man, who we contained for about a half, and they started running option. I said, man, this guy's fast. Barry Ward, Jim Dombrowski. That's all I remember. And those 3 guys were really good players. So we hung on for a while, and then I think the fourth quarter we got sideways, and but we had a great experience at Fulton County Stadium, and back in the day, and we actually stayed at the Marriott and had a great bowl experience, great time, and I told these guys, I said, you're getting old when you're coaching in a bowl game that you played in, not in '78. Right, but and the bowl game was a different name at that time, so I'm getting up there. But we had a great experience then, and for these guys, I haven't asked them, but somebody asked the other day at something how many guys had been to Atlanta before, and I looked around and we probably had 5 or 6 hands shoot up. So it's been a great experience for these guys coming here to Atlanta and experiencing something that's a great thing about college athletics too, that these guys have come through, been in some venues they haven't been in before in the SEC, and coming to Atlanta, and I think you could hear it out of their voices. They're loving this place and excited to be here.
All right, last question. We'll go all the way in the back.
Ben, you kind of mentioned it looking back, but can you kind of reflect on, being a senior and the fact that you've had these struggles and now where you guys are and that you're leaving this A&M team and I guess a little better than when you got here?
Yeah, I'm glad the tables have turned. It's okay. The one issue that doesn't get talked about a lot, and the huge success A&M has had over these past 2 years is Kevin Sumlin. I mean, he immediately, the first day that he walked in that team meeting in Hagner Auditorium, I'll never forget it. He told us, he said, look, if it wasn't me, it'll be another guy. So you better get ready quick. And from that moment on, we realized that, it's a new time here at A&M. And then also with the SEC move, we went in, we took it as an approach. Everybody knew we were going to have a really bad, tough year our first year in the SEC. And Coach Sumlin let us know every week. He said, we have enough talent on this schedule to beat everybody on the schedule. And what he has done for this program and where he has taken, especially when I first got here, to where we are now. I mean, it's you really can't explain it. You really can't describe it. just from a team aspect, at the competition we had last night, I was talking to Nate Askew. We came in together. We were like, man, look how much fun we're having now. Rather than, I wouldn't say not having fun, but actually getting to enjoy the experiences that we are having now. We're blessed to be in such a great bowl game. It's like he said, those 5 or 6 hands that went up when he said, how many people have been to Atlanta? This is my first time being to Atlanta, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. So I just think that, where we have come now, especially as a senior class, the spotlight of this university that it's on right now, I just think it's just great, and I'm honored to actually be a key component of it being the way that it is now.
You will not have to run after practice today. I appreciate that. you got your sprints cut off. That's a good deal.